Thank you, friends. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I want first to thank my friend Marilene for having addressed us the invitation that gives the opportunity to join all of you in sharing the experiences that we are undergoing and sharing the evaluation of the problems that our peoples are facing, and also sharing values or the values, commitments, and ideas in order to overcome that situation. My comments will concentrate and deal with Spain, understanding that we may have some specific features, but refusing certainly the reactionary and hateful assert that Spain is not Greece or Italy is not Spain, which is being widely spread by some. And I want to make it clear that, of course, Spain is Greece, and of course, Italy is Spain, and we are all together in the same challenges, in the same present, and above all, in the same future. My vision is also always linked to the European dimension. Once again, I believe there is no solution outside or without Europe, and certainly I don't think we should approach the problems on a confrontation between South and North, but realizing that the solutions must come out of a joint commitment and action of those who in the South and in the North share values and feel linked precisely by solidarity. We have to realize also that solidarity is a feature that identifies the left, democratic socialists in particular, but is not a feature of the right. It is not an identity feature of the right. Sometimes there are people and forces of the right that have played solidarity, but it was occasionally and because of specific interests. Referring to the Spanish crisis situation, which is very grave, I want to formulate 3 or 4 paradoxes and then refer to 2 or 3 problems linked to the paradoxes and come out with some conclusion or some recommendations. The first paradox And I don't see the old members of the party, which were very, very instrumental in the homes for pensionists or so on, taking the microphone and telling the people the version which we want to explain. And I don't see the young people, including the young socialists in the universities or in the schools, in the professional schools, taking the microphone and addressing an assembly where obviously in the very beginning they were going to be whistled by others or even out of the rooms. I do not see this. I must say that there is a kind of diminution of capacity to will to communicate on those who are nevertheless the backbone of our organizations. That includes, by the way, the trade unions in the same way. Big mistake. Second big mistake, which is more a mistake done by government, you see, and which has been denounced by me, but it has been a big debate. You see, we have come to a point in Spain in which we believed and we practice that everything having to do with social progress needed to be financed out of deficit and out of debt. Now, you see, I do not say, like others, I don't think now anybody believes that debt and deficit is a feature of the left. I do not say that the left in government should not use deficit or left occasionally, punctually, but using that systematically, and especially using that for social progress, has meant, first of all, that we have been increasingly dependent on what were our basic enemies. And I want to name the capital, which nowadays is called the markets. Call it as you want. As a matter of fact, we have been increasingly dependent of those who were not sharing our project, our values, our future. Second thing, we have made increasingly vulnerable precisely the measures that had to do with social progress. And as soon as one has said you have to diminish the debt, you have to diminish the deficit, automatically what has been the first thing that was cut. What was most vulnerable? We did not dare to go and pick the money where the money was, because the money was there. We did not dare, for instance, in our country, challenging the millions and millions which the public budget is giving to the Catholic Church. You know, that was one of the taboos. Not because we had in the party or in the government people who would believe that money should go, but because, you know, reasonable, mind you, there. And we have not anyone that has challenged money, much money, that goes, for instance, to the defense, to the so-called defense. While nobody is able to define anymore from whom we have to defend ourselves. You see, I say two punctual cases, but I am sure that one had other issues where one could go and find money. The money needed in a structural way to finance the social progress that we were committed to. And indeed, in any case, obviously, where the money was also in those who had a lot of money. Yeah, but if you do to those, you see, we have believed quite naively that we could give more to those who had not without taking from those who had too much. And obviously that was also a kind of paradox. Let's see, I don't want to I understand, by the way, that, for instance, without a European fiscal union, it would not be possible to do what I am thinking about. But we did not push very much either towards a fiscal union. I want to finish with a couple of final comments. Or you see, my concern nowadays is that the lack of solidarity has been a kind of poison that has touched all of us. And therefore, if you want to tell me, well, what is the solution to all this? Well, the solution is solidarity. But one has to start by solidarity among the socialists in every one of our countries. And in most of our countries, there is not much solidarity among the members of the left. Not to speak about different parties of the left, where solidarity does not exist, but rather hostility. So lack of solidarity even within the major political forces of the left. If we don't have big solidarity within the political forces of the left, how can we claim the absolute need of solidarity between the progressive forces in the different countries of Europe? So this is a challenge. The challenge is to understand that we are losing power and we are losing identity. To understand that we need regaining identity in order to regain power for anything else than having power, for changing the society. And that the relation between regaining power in Europe and in our respective countries, the relation is a dialectic relation. If we regain power and solidarity nationally, that will influence regaining power and solidarity at European level. And if we regain solidarity and power at European level, that will contribute to make it easier to regain solidarity and power at national level. My last word is to repeat or consolidate something that I said a moment ago, you see, and it is that as Hannes is coming, who is the great master of all of us.
Ο κύριος Χάνες Σβόμποντα, ο πρόεδρος της ομάδας των Σοσιαλιστών και των Δημοκρατών του Ευρωπαϊκού Κοινοβουλίου.
So, you see, one has to understand something I believe in Europe now. You see, we have taken, in 50, 60 years, we have succeeded to build a European social model based on solidarity. That was based on an agreement between democratic socialists and conservative forces. Democratic socialists had solidarity as a feature, as an identity feature, as an identity value. That was not the case of the conservative forces that were cooperating with us in that agreement. But the whole thing was due to the Cold War set up. Now the Cold War has disappeared. The Berlin Wall has fallen, and immediately the conservative forces have regained their freedom for their identity. And they don't find that solidarity is any longer necessary. They don't feel, of course, that it is any longer a priority for them. And they are actually using the crisis which they have provoked in order to dismantle the solidarity system that we had succeeded to build, also with their participation, because at that moment they were interested in it occasionally, and they are no longer interested in it nowadays. So this makes that we have to realize that currently, if we want to recover the European project, which is indispensable for the future of our societies and for the future progress of our societies, we have to realize that the flag of solidarity is a flag that we are going to need to bring alone, quite alone, or in coalition with the peoples, which is a very good coalition, the best coalition. The best coalition, especially for parties like ours, which are always in better coalition with the people than in coalition with those who have other ideas, other values, and other alternatives than ours. Because generally speaking, when we come in such coalitions, what we do is supporting their alternatives, not bringing forward ours. Now, this is a reality I wanted to share with you. It is not a pessimistic reality, but it is the reality that that is not easy in any case. And I want to finish with two Spanish words, or two Spanish sayings that we have given to the fight of the peoples of the world. One is no pasarán, and the other is el pueblo unido jamás será vencido. they will not pass through, and people united will never be defeated. But it is damn difficult to make them not to pass, because so far, most of the times when we have said no pass around, they have passed like mad. And it is also very difficult to unite the people, especially if what we want is to unite them under the flag of solidarity and under the flag of our projects, especially if our projects are not clear enough and are not clearly enough based on solidarity. Thank you very much.